We are coming to you live from $1 Million Studios. Your boys, Chris Speez,
a.k.a. White Gold.
and the benchmark of professional wrestling, Mr. Silky Baines.
That will make me Black Platinum.
Speez on the Benchmark Show on what is today? Thursday night, February 7th, 2018. We thank you so much for being with us. Everybody here on Periscope and over on the YouTubes, welcome to you. We hope you will share the program and consider subscribing if you haven't done so already, whether you are a Periscope watcher or a YouTube viewer. Either way, we'd love it if you subscribe to the show. We're here every Monday and Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central Time on Thursdays, except for tonight. We pushed it back an hour so that we could catch you up on all the latest news from the All Elite Wrestling ticket release party for Double or Nothing. So we're going to chat about that a little bit here. And if you want to get in on that discussion, you can do so in the chat room, or you can give us a call on the phone lines. 832-937-4559 is the phone number to get in.
That's 832-93-SILKY.
832-93-SILKY. We are also grateful to all of you who consistently come in here and drop super hearts and, show your support that way. So if you are in the Periscope app, you can definitely do that. Or you can visit us at the tip jar, tinyurl.com/SB tip jar. We're always grateful for your contributions to help get the program going, so we appreciate that. And we figure that it might be a late arriving crowd this evening because the All Elite Wrestling Double or Nothing ticket release party is still going on, I believe. We jumped over here so we could make sure to chat about it with you guys at the top of the hour. But we're going to take you through everything that went on in the evening. Also, another edition of the Benchmark Power Rankings for the week.
Yep.
So we will let you know about that here shortly as well.
And just so we can show how off base your boy Chris is, while I was frequenting my favorite establishment to get my drinks, he's a fan of the show. And his question about my power rankings, not why Finn Balor was on and black, he's like, how could that guy sit there in good conscience and champion Brock Lesnar being on this list? He
fucking beat Finn Balor. That's all you need to say, for crying out loud. But, hey, I've said it before and I'll say it again. People love the benchmark. So, they're going to love the benchmark power rankings. Thanks to all of you sharing the program. Again, we hope you will continue to do so. Revisionist Book, Jeffrey Cross, we appreciate you guys. You can share the program on Twitter, or you can share it to your Periscope followers. Either one. We appreciate the retweets and everything else. And like our man Jeffrey Cross there, dropping the super hearts.
Dropping mad super hearts, son.
We appreciate that. Thank you very much. So let's get right into it, Silky. Tonight was a big night for All Elite Wrestling from the MGM Grand Hotel in Las Vegas. They were announcing the ticket release, or tickets going on sale, for Double or Nothing coming up in May, the follow-up to last year's insanely successful All-In show. And there were a lot of expectations as to what was going to happen. Some names that people expected to hear, some matches that were expected to be announced, and we got a little bit of all that. So we're going to get to everything. But of course, the big story, we want to get right to it off the top, and it was one of the things we were waiting for before we went on the air. The big news, of course, Kenny Omega, having now dropped the IWGP Heavyweight Championship and announced that he would not be returning to New Japan, which he still might. But nonetheless, Kenny Omega at the towards the end of the broadcast shows up, as was expected by many, in Las Vegas to announce that he is a part of All Elite Wrestling. How big, Silky Baines, is the addition of Kenny Omega to the All Elite Wrestling roster?
I mean, for the wrestling wrestler, it's huge. I mean, he is pound for pound probably one of the best wrestlers in the world right now. So that was huge. The part I took away is, I don't know who saw it because I pointed out to you, when he came out, his title card said Kenny Omega, Executive Vice President.
It would appear as he is part of the ownership team as well, yeah.
Yes. So I didn't understand how they were making it seem like, oh, this is so huge. Like this was like unheard of, like no one could have saw this coming. It's like everybody saw this coming.
Yeah, that's what
Stevie Wonder fucking saw it coming. Like he's all like, when he gonna come? All right, there he is. I knew he was coming. See, Stevie Wonder. That's me doing Stevie Wonder.
That was a Stevie Wonder, everybody. Yes. That was fantastic.
Yes, Jeffrey. I mean, it is. I don't understand what people were expecting, but I mean, it's just a bunch of people talking about what's going to happen, and it wasn't I don't think these press conferences are really exciting. I'm just speaking to what Jeffrey Cross was saying.
Jeffrey Cross finds them boring, he said.
Yeah. I mean, because I didn't even really watch until I got over here to $1 Million Studios. We caught the end when, Shima and then the whole announcement of Kenny Omega.
Right. What's up, Smart Spot and Paul, and it's me, WB. Welcome to all you guys. We appreciate you flowing in here. I can assume that the press conference has come to, the ticket party has come to a close as the chat room is filling up here. So welcome to all of you once again. If you'll share the program, we'd appreciate that. Talking about Kenny Omega showing up tonight at All Elite Wrestling. So, yeah, I totally agree with you. I feel as far as, wrestling goes, no matter your thoughts on Kenny Omega and, some of the folks who have, like Jim Cornette, what he thinks about Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega can suck my big fat white fucking dick.
In case you missed it, it was...
Kenny Omega can suck my big fat white fucking dick.
Yeah, he's not a fan of Kenny Omega, in case you haven't heard. But it is over now. Okay, great. Thank you, WB. So Kenny Omega is a good signing for them. It really is. I'm not at all surprised to see that he's a part of that team. It's basically the Elite running the promotion.
All Elite Wrestling,
as you would expect. Hello to you, Jody. Welcome. Smart Spot says, it was a snoozer, but that's why we're here, guys. So you don't have to sit and watch an hour of this ticket party. We catch you up on all the details, and we do it in an entertaining way, for crying out loud. What's up, Red Leaf Retrocast over there on the YouTubes? Welcome to you, sir. Good AEW presser, very diverse and promising, he says. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in there. So we'll come back to Kenny in a bit, but of course, didn't want to bury the lead here. That was the big story, Kenny Omega showing up at All Elite Wrestling. Most of their roster is damn young, and some aren't much known. That's nice to raise up your talent. That's true. Hello, Go Home Wrestling Show. Good to see you. Lucha Brothers indeed did show up and had a little confrontation with the Young Bucks. And, Go Home says it wasn't a snoozer. Some people think so. Some people think not. But let's take you through it, and we'll see. What were you going to say, Silky? Didn't mean to step on you there.
Oh, none.
So, to kick things off, we had a gentleman, and I use the term somewhat loosely because I'm not familiar with this particular gentleman, Sonny Kiss.
Oh, yeah, that's, he's Exolicious in Lucha Underground.
Okay, Exolicious is a very interesting character, to say the least. He came out first and announced that Sonny Kiss is now going to be a part of All Elite Wrestling. Before anybody else came out, he was the very first person to come out, throwing out T-shirts, and threw one right in the middle of the fucking pool at the GM
Nice.
Grand. So there was that. This was and it was announced that this was a chief brandy officer acquisition. Not a fan of chief brandy officer, but hey, it's a clever little thing. Whatever. Thank you, Smart Spot and Jeffrey Cross and Mike Drop for the Super Hearts. We appreciate that, guys, very much. So this Sonny Kiss, an interesting character to say the least.
Yeah.
And
and I've seen him work on Lucha Underground. I mean, it's not for me, but like he can go. It's just he's basically that line of he's clearly a man, but he acts like a woman. Like down to how his gear is like what a woman would wear.
Yeah, somebody asked if
hanging out and everything.
Yeah, somebody asked if he was a cheap Velveteen Dream ripoff, which I don't think so. But
No, totally different because Velveteen is, especially now, he's not really doing the androgynous like a lot across the line and stuff.
Right.
But this dude is completely 100% like what he is. What you see is what you get with Sonny Kiss.
Yeah, absolutely. So Sonny Kiss kicked things off. It was an odd way to open, but it was it got to throw out some T-shirts, so that was good. So after that, out comes Cody, and Cody getting the crowd fired up. Basically saying if not now, when, and if not us, who, and all the right things that you would expect to hear from Cody Rhodes. He then proceeded to reiterate the partnership between AEW and AAA, the Lucha Libre promotion down in Mexico. And we were very pleased to see that one of our boys, who has actually sat here in $1 Million Studios with us, was the, I won't say the first wrestler, but was brought out to the stage and introduced as part of the roster, Sammy Guevara, who, if those of you are not regulars on the show and didn't get to see Sammy when he came here. He was a regular on PWG, participated in not this year's, but last year's Battle of Los Angeles, and is the current Cruiserweight champion for AAA, which he won the belt at Triple Mania. And Sammy Guevara, I got to tell you, fits perfectly into the style of what we expect AEW wrestling to be. Would you agree?
I would agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just a phenomenal talent. And just to be so young, he really makes me sick.
Yeah,
When we were talking, he's like, I'm old, and he's like 25. It's like, I'm over a decade older than you.
Yeah, exactly.
Chris is over 3 decades older than him.
Let's not get carried away. So, but Sammy Guevara came out, and again, if you haven't seen him, if you are a fan of the high-flying, super athletic types, Sammy's going to be for you. He's a total, when I say baby face, he literally looks like he's about 15 years old, but the guy can go.
He can definitely go.
He was a big star at Wrestle Circus down here in Texas. Had a match against Ricochet when Ricochet was still out there on the indie
Johnny
circuit.
Impact or Mundo, or I guess for that show, Johnny Wrestle Circus.
Johnny Wrestle Circus, whatever he was.
And actually, I think Cody Rhodes too.
Yeah, he's we had the match against Cody Rhodes in, I think it was in Corpus Christi.
Yeah, that was Corpus.
I saw that match. So Sammy Guevara came out, cut a nice promo. It was kind of I felt bad for him because he was he's working his way through his promo, and he says, I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna show you what cruiserweight wrestling's all about, and I'm gonna do what I do best. And some mark in the crowd goes, "Suck!" And everybody started laughing. I was like, "Motherfucker, man, you can't do that, Sammy Guevara. That's not cool." So anyway, Sammy Guevara will be a part of All Elite Wrestling as well. Hometown boy from right here in Katy, Texas.
Yep.
So that's great. So we were very excited to see Sammy there. Next up was the Hangman, Adam Page, coming out. And let's get caught up on some of the comments here before I get too far ahead of myself. Not impressed they're getting a money mark to pay for what New Japan Pro Wrestling was, says Chaz. We shall see. Y'all remember Orlando Jordan in TNA, that gimmick?
Yeah, pretty much Sunny Kiss.
Billy and Chuck were awesome back in the day. Also, yes, the AAA and AEW. And Adrian Adonis. Yeah, I mean, there's always been Gold Dust when he first came out. I mean, the whole Gold Dust and Roddy Piper thing was outstanding. So there's always a place for that kind of thing. Get the tables. Good evening to you, sir. We appreciate you being here, and we appreciate the Super Hearts. Thank you very much. So out comes Hangman Adam Page, and he's talking about how the last time when they had the little pep rally down in Jacksonville, when he was on the mic, he was interrupted by the bastard Pac. He, of course, being Neville, for those of you who were fans of him in WWE, as I was. Yeah. Big Neville mark myself. And Neville joined us via satellite from wherever he is and basically said, "I'm going to kick your ass." Adam Page says, "I'm going to kick your ass." So our very first match announcement for Double or Nothing will be Hangman Adam Page taking on the bastard Pac. What do you think of Adam Page versus Pac for Double or Nothing?
Awesome.
I think it's going to be an outstanding match.
Yeah. I'm a big Adam Page fan. I predicted big things for him in the New Japan, and then they shit on the booking for him. But he is just a phenomenal. Like, he's that hybrid, but because he's big enough to go with the heavyweights, but he can fly around with the cruiserweights if need be. He's athletic enough to do that. So I think that's going to be probably up there for show stealer.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's going to be pretty impressive. And I've been a huge Neville fan ever since I first saw him. I think he's outstanding. I love the fact that he's kept this heel gimmick going outside of WWE because, honestly, it works better for him.
Yeah,
I mean, he's fucking great at it. Raven's Blood's already got Pac versus Hangman as a match of the year candidate. We'll see. But I'm a huge fan of Pac, so that should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that match for sure. So from there, out come the Young Bucks, who come out and basically talk about the sad state of tag team wrestling. And I'm glad it didn't devolve into what could have been a very easy opportunity for them to, we got a lot of fuck the revival marks screaming out fuck the revival in there, so fuck all those guys. What gimmick that ain't no gimmick? Yeah, exactly, Babaruski. But anyway, the Young Bucks basically saying that tag team wrestling is going to be great in AEW. They asked the question, can tag team wrestling be main event wrestling? Can it be the main event? And of course, everybody went crazy.
Yeah.
So, Bucks say their thing. It looks like they're leaving. And out come the Lucha Brothers. Penta El Zero and Phoenix. Ray Phoenix. Why the fuck did I blank on his name all of a sudden? I was like, fucking Ray. And I wanted to say Ray Mysterio. Ray Phoenix. Yeah, I know about the revival chants from the crowd, indeed. So, those two guys come out, Lucha Brothers come out, and not only do they confront the Young Bucks and basically accept a challenge that the Young Bucks had kind of thrown out there online, apparently, is, we'll take on any tag team, all comers, whoever wants to come and face us, bring it on. And the fucking Lucha Brothers brought it because one of the fucking Young Bucks caught a super kick in the face, and the other one caught a pile driver out there on the fucking whatever the little stage was or whatever. They didn't fuck around at all.
Yeah.
So the crowd was going apeshit for the Lucha Brothers. Now, we've seen them in Impact. We've seen them in AAA. We've seen them Lucha Underground. We've seen them everywhere.
MLW.
What are your thoughts on the Lucha Brothers joining AEW? You think they stay together as a tag team? Because that was my first question. We've seen them both have success as singles wrestlers. Ray Phoenix won the AAA championship at Triple Mania, where Sammy Guevara won the Cruiserweight title. And, of course, Penta won the Impact championship briefly.
Yeah.
So both of these guys can go as singles wrestlers as well. First of all, what do you think of the Lucha Brothers signing? And secondly, do you see them as sticking together as a tag team, or will we eventually see them in singles action?
I would like to see them. I mean, just depends on or how many more tag teams they bring in for AEW. Because right now, I'd love to see them stick together as a tag team. But, as they add more teams, it gives them that more space to split them up, because it does seem like they've been way more successful as a separate than they have been together.
Yeah, that's true. And the match between them and the Young Bucks, everybody's very excited. Very excited about that. The chat of AEW Channel Live was an explosion. Oh my God, Kenny Omega. Yeah, Arlo, definitely. People were very excited indeed. So, and yeah, Young Ref, I'm with you. They can do both. But
I would like to see them right now as a tag team. And just to
bolster that division.
Yeah. If nothing, you can put them in with anybody and you're going to get phenomenal tag team match. And if that's what one of your goals is to put tag team wrestling back on the map in a way like WWE or Impact doesn't do, then it makes sense to keep them together.
Yeah, and that's as much as I'm kind of I won't say I don't like the Young Bucks. I'm kind of indifferent about the Young Bucks. Like, I'll watch them if they're on, but they're not guys that I go out of the way to watch. I'm just not a particularly big fan of that style of wrestling. But to hear those guys talk about the emphasis that they were going to put on tag team wrestling is music to my fucking ears, because I got to tell you, when WWE actually tries, the tag team wrestling in WWE can be fucking phenomenal. I mean, you see the Usos and the New Day had so many great matches.
Yep.
Sheamus and Cesaro ended up being so much better as a tag team than I ever would have thought.
Yeah.
They worked out great. Of course, the Revival, fucking top of the fucking heap, without question.
No, there's very many. I have numerous questions.
There's not any question about that. So,
100 questions.
To hear them say that they're going to put an emphasis on tag team wrestling, I love that. And thank you, Mike Drop, for pointing this out. I did skip over this in my notes. They also introduced the Best Friends.
Oh, yeah. Chucky
T with Mr. Invisible Hand Grenade.
Yeah. And Beretta.
Beretta can fucking go.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm not big on Chucky T, but anyway, the Best Friends will also be a part of AEW. So some nice tag team additions. It looks like they've got a solid foundation there for some pretty good stuff. I think that would be more creative mode. Their damn chemistry is so great together. And when you don't have Shane McMahon as your tag team champ. Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much.
And Jeff wants to know, who's this Revival team you speak of?
Jeff knows exactly who that is. It's just
Shut up!
Quit being a turd. Thank you, Scott Steiner, for jumping in there. So, Full Entertainment Media, Cop Watch, and Wrestling. That's a whole fucking mouthful of a name there, fellas. But hey, welcome to you over there on YouTube. We appreciate you being with us. So, once we got through the Lucha Brothers kicking the shit out of the Young Bucks, which I quite enjoyed, Chief Brandy Officer, which I'm sick of that already. I've only heard it 3 times tonight, and it fucking bothers me. I'm with you, Raven's Blood. Chucky T bugs the shit out of me as well. I like Beretta, though. I think Beretta's a fucking hoss. I think he's good.
But the Awful Waffle.
Again with the fucking Awful Waffle.
Awful Waffle.
Dude, I wouldn't know the awful waffle if you fucking hit me with an awful waffle right now.
If I hit you with the
but
awful
I'm gonna
waffle
guess
right
that it's
now.
fucking ridiculous because it's called the awful waffle.
No, actually, it's a pile driver. It's literally just.
Is it an awful pile driver?
No, it's an awesome pile driver.
It's an awful waffle, isn't it?
But it's called the awful waffle. And I just like the name and like saying awful waffle.
It's fucking terrible. In terms of the women's
I'll show
division,
you after the show.
Okay, we'll see it. In terms of the women's division for AEW, the star power is naturally going to take time, as is the state of the women's wrestling scene, but the talent being signed is all good and solid. Yes, and we're going to talk about that right now, Red Leaf. The chief branding officer, Brandy Rhodes, came
Chief
out.
Brandy.
We're not going to fucking
Put
call
some
it the chief
respect
brand.
on her
I'm
name.
not putting respect.
Where's my put
on
some
it.
respect on
I
it?
gotta fix it. We got our new gear here with some of the money that all of you donated via your Super Hearts. And again, for those of you joining us late, you can drop those Super Hearts over on Periscope and help us continue to pay the bills for the program here, or hit us up on the tip jar. You see the link there on the page. But we're talking about the women's
fancy
wrestling
machine with. Instead of using the iPad with the sounders, and he refuses to get my.
I did not refuse to do shit.
It.
Unlike you, who
Put some
shows up and has
respect on
one fucking job here. I always get shit for having one job.
Yes.
Which basically every time I'm
What the fuck are you talking about?
I do like a billion things for this podcast. Silky shows bullshit. Silky shows up, talks some shit, and then goes home. That's pretty much Silky's job. Everything else you see here, the fucking whole thing, is what I have to do. And I don't find one fucking sounder, and Silky wants to come here and give me shit for it.
Yes, because you have one job.
Just fucking
Get my
stop
fucking
it.
sounder.
Anyway, back to Chief Brandy Officer,
Thank
Brandy
you. Put some
Rhodes coming
respect
out
on that
there.
shit.
First thing that she did was announce a couple of Japanese talents who have come over. Aja Kong and Yuka, somebody who I forgot to write her name down because I'd never heard of this girl, and quite frankly, I looked at her and she looked like she was about 12 years old. So
With a bowl cut.
apparently she's
I
supposed
wish
to be,
you would have picked a better picture.
Yeah, it was not the most flattering picture.
But Aja Kong, I can't believe that chick is still fucking wrestling.
Yeah. No one gives a bit about this show. We laugh at you guys all day. We laugh. Is he talking about our show or the Double or Nothing show? Or
We don't know.
Oh, okay. He laughs at us all day.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
But you're
I'm
watching,
glad you're
so-
enjoying yourself, man.
Yeah.
Entertainment. That's what we're here for.
There we go.
He
And
probably
you're
thought he
watching
was
this.
going to get over with that comment, but, unfortunately, it's just not going to work out for you because we're getting paid to do this shit. Why the fuck would we worry about what some fucking clown shoe like you says? But anyway, let's get back to Chief Brandy Officer. So we had the announcement of the two. Aja Kong debuted in 1985, says Red Leaf. Fucking, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's fucking
That's crazy. So she was actually there. But then we had another local product, and she's not actually from Houston, but a lady that we heard signed recently. And Silky and I have both seen a lot of this girl, and she is fucking fantastic. And I'm not bullshitting you. Those of you who watch the show regularly know that I don't usually mark out over female wrestlers very often, but I'm telling you right now, this girl is my favorite female wrestler in pro wrestling right now. Kylie Ray is her name. Smiley Kylie that they call her on occasion. She is absolutely fantastic, and she is going to wreck shit in AEW. Was very, very, very excited to see that she signed number one and to see her get some FaceTime there at the show. Tell the folks a little bit about Smiley Kylie and her involvement over with Booker T's promotion and everything she had going over there.
Numerous time Diamonds Division champion. I mean, she was the cornerstone of women's wrestling at Booker T's for a while.
Had a great feud, and I saw her wrestle at least 3 matches that I can think of with Miranda Salinas, who some of you may remember from the first Mae Young Classic in WWE. Kylie Ray is fantastic. She is a fantastic personality. There's literally nothing I can think of to not like about this girl. I'm definitely pulling for her. I was very excited to see her there. So keep an eye out for Smiley Kylie. She's going to be great. Young Raph loves the ROW. Exactly. Okay, so former ROW women's champ. There you go. Young Raph knows. He knows exactly what we're talking about. All right. Then we had the boys from SoCal Uncensored. SCU was there and announcing that they will be hosting the official after party for Double or Nothing. A smiley go. We got to make sure that looks okay. SCU all night. So whatever that's going to be, some kind of after party, but it'll be fun. It'll be a good time. A good time will be had by all. And then they brought out some suits from OWE, which is another promotion that the folks over at AEW, OWE. It's fucking difficult to keep all this together. Anyway, another partnership that they had. And as Red Leaf said earlier, the guy from OWE was talking about how we're going to bring 5,000 years of Kung Fu to AEW wrestling. And I thought that was the fucking line of the night. It was fucking hilarious. So we've got tons of partnerships going on. We've got the OWE. We've got AAA. Sammy Guevara was announced. Aja Kong, Kylie Ray, all kinds of big announcements, blah, 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 blah. It took a while, but we finally got to the big announcement of the evening, which was Kenny Omega showing up at All Elite Wrestling. Going to be a part of Double or Nothing, and as Silky pointed out earlier, is also one of the executive vice presidents of the company. So as we expected, Kenny Omega going to play a huge role in AEW. So I have a feeling we will be seeing Tessa Blanchard in AEW. Maybe not now, but for sure at some point. Yeah, I mean, killing it over on Impact and on the Friday night show, the WOW show, Women of Wrestling. And Kylie Ray is just too adorable. I totally agree. Jody wouldn't mind going to the party. Definitely so. Looks like Chris Jericho made an appearance again, but again, we came on the air here. So we talked about this at the beginning for those of you joining us late, but Kenny Omega, a good signing there. We'll see what his match ends up being. Last time around for All In, we didn't get an announcement about who Kenny Omega was going to fight until pretty much damn near the last minute.
Yeah.
And his match with Penta El Zero was pretty good.
It was okay.
And it's Kenny Omega, so
yeah. I mean, it was just they lost me at the end with the package pile driver on the apron, and that by some reason didn't debilitate him. Like the match should have been over.
Yeah, exactly. And Full Entertainment Media, Cop Watching Wrestling, says it's first time stopping by the show, but I think I will be back. And have you all been on the AEW website? Haven't been to the AEW website yet. First of all, thank you. I hope you will come back.
According to Jeffrey Cross, it says it's going to be Jericho and Omega at Double or Nothing.
Okay, then. Jericho and Omega Part 2. Well, there you go. We have the announcement there. Did not go to the AEW website. Now, let's give the folks some idea of tickets here, because this was kind of a clusterfuck last year as far as the ticketing goes. The website crashed. People were very pissed off about not getting tickets. It was just very problematic. So this is one thing, and I'll give AEW a lot of credit about this. You can tell that they put a lot of work into making sure that we didn't have the same kind of debacle again this year. Yeah. Now, that being said, the fucking website crashed again tonight. Yeah. So, there's still some issues to be worked out. But apparently the way this is going to work is you can go to the AEW website all weekend and send in your email address if you would like to be eligible for pre-sale tickets. And I believe they're going to do some manner of drawing to see who gets the pre-sale tickets. And then the actual tickets will go on sale later on. I believe it's on Wednesday. Those when the tickets will go on sale to the public. So if you are interested in attending Double or Nothing, need to make sure that you head on over to the AEW website. And you might not be able to get on it right now because every mark in the fucking world jumped on there and was on there now. But basically what you'll do is enter your email address, see about getting those pre-sale tickets. And if not, you can take your shot at getting tickets for when they go public. So I ask you this, Silky, and to those of you in the chat room as well. We saw All In sell out in no time at all.
Yeah.
It was absolutely 10,000 seat stadium, sold out in no time. I believe it's a 16,000 seat arena for this show.
Yeah.
Do you see the same type of ticket sales
100%
for this one?
100%.
You think this is still going to be a huge event?
It's going to sell out. I mean, look at these places they're packing for just a fucking conference. So I'm sure when they actually have the show, it will sell out.
You think it goes in 30 minutes or whatever it was last time?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. I think there's going to be a lot of people that missed out on the first one that will go to the second one. And there's probably a lot of people that are going to want to go back.
Yeah.
And again, we said it when we talked about All In last year. I'm not sure how much of this is, and I'm sure it's both, but I think a lot of the success of All In last year and a lot of the success of Double or Nothing this year will be the fact that people, it's not so much the wrestling as it is people fucking love the Elite. They love the Young Bucks and Cody and Kenny Omega. And anything that those guys are a part of, other people are going to want to be a part of as well. And so when it's not some fucking suit somewhere, some bigwig that's making all the money and pulling all the strings, when it's actually these guys doing it, you got to figure that people are going to sign up and, be excited to be there. Hell yeah, it will sell out in 10 minutes. Says Full Entertainment Media, Cop Watch and Wrestling. We got to figure out some kind of abbreviation for that guy.
FEMCA.
Just trying to figure some shit out. What does it say? It says 2 will get an email Monday with code. Okay. Chef Dad got his pre-sale info. Oh, it says I will get an email on Monday with a code. All right, then.
And then Anthony looks like from Smark to Death got in.
All right, then. Well, I know Anthony was one who didn't get tickets the first time around and fucking freaked out on Twitter until somebody said, here, you can have my tickets, or they sold him his tickets. Here's a question that's come up from time to time, and then we'll move on to some WWE talk for the evening. And again, guys, if you want to get in on the phone lines, 832-937-4559 is the number.
That's 832-93-SILKY.
832-93-SILKY. So we've seen these guys in the same promotion before. We've seen these guys in the same American promotion before. What's going to be different about All Elite Wrestling from, say, when the Bucks and Kenny and Cody were all a part of Ring of Honor? What's going to be different about this one than what we've seen with Ring of Honor?
Because they have more control. I mean, I'm sure they had, with their level of star, they had some control over what they did in Ring of Honor, but now they have full control over what they do. And I think the more interesting thing is seeing how they run this, because it's one thing to wrestle. There's several thousands probably of wrestlers out there who wouldn't know how to draw a dime or wouldn't know how to write a good storyline when it comes to the office side of wrestling. And so I'm more interested in that, to see how they put it together.
How confident are you in their ability to put it together?
I'm fairly confident, especially in Cody. I think it's a great with Kenny bringing the knowledge he has from being there in Japan.
Right.
And I'm sure he got to a certain level where I'm sure he was privy to how they do business. Then you've got the Young Bucks who made their name on the indie level. And then you've got Cody, who was in the WWE system and his father legacy. So when you put all of that together, it may shoot in the foot, but it's almost like, how could that fail?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is it going to be a case of too many chefs in the kitchen? Because
now that
because that's one of the things that I'm definitely interested in seeing how that works
now,
out.
That's definitely a real concern, and I think at this point, the only thing that really could stop them is them. Like I say, the too many chefs in the kitchen, and I'm sure they have contingencies of like who will handle like the top level guys, who's agenting the mid level, who's I'm sure the Young Bucks will be over the tag division as a whole. So I'm sure they have each person positioned where they want them to be. That's going to help drive the show.
Now we still don't know, unless this came out at the end of the party here tonight, which we missed the bit about Jericho because we came on live on the air. But we still don't know whether or not these guys are going to have television. And whether or not there's going to be a weekly show, a bi-weekly show, a monthly show. Is this going to be something that's on Twitch? Is it going to be on streaming only? What's going to happen there? How much of that affects the types of stories that they're able to tell? Because the two major promotions that I think people would agree are 1 and 2 would be WWE and New Japan. And the way that those two companies tell stories are completely different because, well, partly because
they run more shows, so they have... And so they're able to tell more in-depth storylines.
WWE, you would think, would have far more flexibility in terms of the types of stories that they're able to tell. But many people would argue, and it's a pretty fucking strong argument to be honest with you, that the storylines in New Japan over the last several years have been much better, even though we're only seeing shows from those guys, at least on this side of the pond, once a month.
If
that.
So, and that's the thing, is what we need to know is, one, how often they plan to do shows, because they need TV, and it's a whole thing to try to secure venues and stuff, because you got to do a lot of stuff concurrently. Like while you're promoting this venue, you need to have someone getting another venue so you can have that to advertise for the next show or two, so that's going to be real interesting, but that's going to also determine the actual level of stories they do here on AEW, because we don't know how often they plan to run and where they plan to run.
And is it going to be a live show? Is it going to be a taped show? Because I'll tell you, that's a whole different fucking ball game there. If you're talking about a taped program versus a live program, holy shit, it's totally different.
Which, I mean, I've been fortunate enough to do both, and I tell you, it's stressful, doing live and it's even stressful doing tape when you think about it, because there's only so much, because you can't just go back. When you tape wrestling, it's not like if I blow a spot really bad, we just say, all right, fans, we're going to start this match over because we need to get a better shot. No, it puts the onus on the editor to try to edit it out and make it look like when I was working with Booker T and I worked with this guy, the finish got botched, and so obviously we couldn't use that finish, so and the guy did a really good job of cutting together a finish that actually led to another match, because it
looked realistic enough.
Yeah, it looked realistic enough, even though for me who noticed and stuff, it's the finish was I got supposed to be slammed by the in the middle of the ring.
Right.
So you see me get slammed in the middle of the ring, and then when they cut the camera position 1, 2, he took a shot of before where my foot was on the rope, and just the ref counted 3.
Gotcha. Yeah, there's a lot of different things that you can do
to worked out
to make it work.
Yeah. So, and like I say, I just think that we need to know these things more before we can talk really about how these stories will be, because Absolutely. it's a one thing to write a story for a show that you're going to do every month versus a show you're going to do every week or every other week.
Let's get to some of these comments here, and you can jump in on the periscopes there. But over on the YouTubes, Full E says they already have guaranteed that they will have TV. And yes, that's essentially what we're saying. Yes, when I say we don't know TV, we don't know what their TV deal is basically what. Not that we don't know if they're going to have TV. They've said that they're going to have TV. We shall see how it actually plays out. And shout out to you, John Baez. Good to have you with us. Let's see. They already have said they will have a weekly 2-hour show. The belief is that will either be on HBO or Viacom or the Turner station. That's the thing. I mean, you kick out about 10 different fucking stations right now. And we shall see. See, that is people talking about it. Hire Chris as your TV man, AEW. Yeah. They know what's up.
Exactly.
Silky's been firsthand. I produced Silky's TV show.
I mean, I still ain't got the footage of the one that I wrestled Snitsky.
Well, that's because
September.
Talking about finishes that didn't quite work out as we would have planned.
That finish did not work out.
That would be one that was there. So we shall see. Let's see. Full Entertainment, very upset with us. Stop saying we don't know. The president of AEW has already said it will be a 2-hour live show. That's true. But people say a lot of things. I'm waiting to hear the fucking word. I'm not waiting for somebody to tell me, oh, we're going to do this. No, I want to hear, what do you have? Where is it going to be? When's it going to be?
Yeah. So, I mean, essentially, we don't know. So it goes back to what we're saying. So, I mean, because anyone can say, I could say, we're going to get picked up. We're going to be on Sirius. Do you know when? Yeah. Where? What channel? How long is this going to happen? No. So all you have is the word that's their plan, is to get on TV, and their plan is to do a 2-hour television show. I mean, I have a lot of plans.
I got a lot of fucking plans too.
I know. So
they don't always work out. Let's see what Jeff. If the Elite book AEW like they write, being the Elite, storylines should be great.
Which is true. I mean, that's why I watched Being the Elite, because the storylines are. I mean, it's more comedy, campy, but just that they can put a congruent storyline like that over multiple tapings gives me promise that they can do good wrestling storylines.
Yeah, and Juanito's got him on Telemundo, so that's just could be.
Telemundo.
AEW TV deal needs to get a network with ratings to allow them and the fans to unleash. Yeah, that was one of the things. That's another thing that I noticed is, and what's up, Houston Burkhead? I don't know how come the titles have not been announced yet. I'm sure it's in the works, and again, information will be coming shortly.
Yeah.
I totally lost my fucking train of thought where I was going with this, but so at the party tonight. We did have some colorful language in there.
Yeah.
Which, again, we're all fucking grown-ups. So we do it on this show, for crying out loud. But that's one of the things that I think a lot of folks who are not thrilled with the PG nature of the WWE product, that's one of the things that's going to attract those people to AEW. How important do you think that is for them to be on a network where they can unleash a little bit, where they don't have to worry about language restrictions and they don't have to worry about TV ratings and they don't have to worry about suits at the network being, concerned that they're going to run off advertisers because it's too risque or it's too, whatever.
I mean, it's a very real concern, I think, in that, if you're going to go the route of, there's one thing to say like ass or shit or, suggestive. That shit's on TV nowadays.
Yeah.
But like the Joey Ryan thing from All In, that is something that universally probably shouldn't happen if you're a show with sponsors. Nobody generally is going to want to put their money and attach their company to another company that has 6-foot guys dressed as dicks. You know what I mean?
Which, and even that, we're getting close. Like, if you watch fucking South Park or Family Guy or something like that.
Well, yeah, those are cartoons, though.
I guess you're,
we're talking live action.
Yeah, there are there's some crazy shit that happens there. But I really do think that that's one of the things that interests me about this. Can these guys get somewhere where they can push the envelope and they can do things that, quite frankly, WWE is not able to do? Because of the situation that they're in. And I don't think WWE is complaining. Those of you should check out our Twitter account at Speez Benchmark. You can see, I believe it was Bob Aruski sharing with us the WWE earnings call from this year. And they set new records for fucking, all kinds of shit. In terms of they're not hurting for cash over there. So don't be surprised if we get the status quo over there for a little while. But, maybe AEW comes in and ruffles some feathers. Who else thought Conrad Thompson was great as always? He'll be a major part of AEW TV. Conrad Thompson he's a big cheerleader right now.
Yeah,
is what he is, and he's very excited about it, and his excitement can be contagious if you're a fan of that kind of thing because he's very much psyched about it. Joey Ryan sponsored by Pornhub,
yeah,
and just get different sponsors. Well, it's easier said than done. We can tell you firsthand.
Yeah.
It's a lot fucking easier said than done. You're definitely right about popping out a million different network options, but right. I think we can say without saying that the network will be at least as big as WGN. Oh, sorry. At least as WGN. We shall see. Oh, there's Bailey. Hello. My dog Bailey likes my black lab Bailey. She's gorgeous. And she loves to just come sit in here because she loves when Silky comes over to visit.
Yeah.
And so you see her tail wagging in the background there. Bailey decided to chill with us today. For the simple fact that if they can't land a big enough TV deal, they could always pay for the time under the condition that if the rating... Yeah, here's the thing. My background is in television and film production, so, I get what you're saying, full entertainment. I get what you're saying, but let's face it, these guys don't want to come out of the box having to pay for a TV slot.
But I think they will have to essentially
maybe.
Start off. It just really depends on what networks are really willing to pony up because, again, they have money, but they're not proven. Like, they can't show anyone any footage of anything but the All In show and prove that people are going to watch it consistently.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So that makes makes companies a little leery about paying for the time slot. So they may about paying AEW to put on the show there. So they may have to come up with like what he was talking about, a deal where they pay And then once they get to certain ratings, then the company starts paying them.
Was it Bob Aruski that just dropped that comment about who's I can't see? Oh, the Chris Rucker podcast. Bailey and Silky for Black History Month. We got the Black Lab and the Black co-host. So
there we go.
So anyway, let's see. I think either TNT or TBS. Yeah, again, Turner's one of the ones that we got thrown out there. I don't know if Excalibur is definitely a full-time announcer. But we shall see. He seems to be around quite a bit. So
I think didn't he announce that commentate at All In?
Did he? I can't remember who the commentators were. I can't remember who the commentators were. Houston says when they brought out the Chinese guys, they mentioned Ultimo Dragon, but he isn't Chinese, right? I don't know. Seems really unlikely you'd see it on HBO. Yeah, I mean
he is not Houston. Yeah. He is definitely Japanese, but if you listen to the thing, up until like a couple years ago, there really was no professional wrestling in China. So those Chinese wrestlers that wanted to wrestle had to go to like Japan or some other place to learn.
Yeah, most definitely. So all in all, final thoughts, scale of 1 to 10, how big a deal was the ticket release party and the new information that we learned about All Elite Wrestling tonight?
Like a 5.
You give it a 5?
Yeah, I mean, because I just can't get excited about just watching them not give all the answers. I mean, I get it from my standpoint, my degrees in marketing. So from a marketing thing, you don't want to give them everything. As long as you keep giving them little breadcrumbs, little by little, it gets them to want it more. But me as a fan and also being in the business, it's just like, I want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So it wasn't and then the Kenny Omega thing is like, everyone knew that was happening, so that wasn't like the bigger thing. I think from a standpoint of promotion would be to leak that he was entertaining offers to sign with WWE, even having, because you knew WWE was came calling once he decided he was done or somewhat done with New Japan. I would have had him like very publicly going to meet with WWE so everyone can think that he's going WWE, and then boom, show up at AEW. And now that's a big thing.
Yeah, it's somebody says 4.35 there. So yeah, I don't think we got anything. Look, I think the Kenny Omega signing is very nice for those guys. Again, like you said, not particularly surprising, but for him to be there, I think is very good. Can
you even really consider the signing if he's like the vice president? Which seems to me that he was probably in on it from the jump. But no contractually, they couldn't say he was.
Absolutely. To be honest with you, the signings that are going to be a big deal are, I think, in my estimation, either guys that up and leave promotions that we didn't expect them to leave.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily even have to be WWE. You know, for example, if a Brian Cage jumped ship and came over to AEW, I don't see Brian. I don't know what his contractual obligations are to Impact, or Tessa Blanchard, for example. I mean, she just signed with Impact, so for her to just up and leave. Somehow get out of that contract, I think that would be a big deal. I thought Pac was a big deal.
Yeah.
Not because Pac is such an internationally known superstar or he's going to bring you a ton of ratings or anything like that, but it's a name I didn't expect to hear.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, all in all, it was a good, solid night. I think they certainly didn't do anything to hurt themselves other than their website crashing again, but it seems like they'll get that figured out.
And you never know who they may sign.
Yeah, totally agree, John. That's totally great. I don't think Punk's coming back, but we shall see. Yeah, I totally agree that they will definitely pay for their first time slots, as did TNA on Spike. Yeah, it's up in the air. And the other thing that I think we should mention, because I've seen it brought up in the chat a couple of times, Mr. Khan, who is a billionaire with a B, or multimillionaire, I can't remember. I believe he is actually a billionaire. Folks, he's not putting all of that money, and all of that money is not available for the folks at AEW. And I know most of you know that, but the point being, I think he's allocated a certain amount of funds to AEW. And Silky said it here before. You don't become a billionaire by throwing away money.
Yep.
And that guy's going to want to start seeing a return on that investment, or he's probably going to turn right back around and say, fuck you guys, I can go spend my money elsewhere and make some of it back.
I mean, I think they have a pretty good time. I mean, he owns the fucking Jacksonville Jaguars, who
he's not hurting for cash, but
who suck.
Yeah, but look, any sports franchise that you buy, I mean, those franchise values go up just obscenely.
Yeah, and that is true, but
I mean, if you look at guys that, like here in Houston, when Les Alexander sold the Rockets, I think they said he bought him for like $30 million or some ridiculous shit like that. And he sold him for over $1 billion. And it's not like the guy owned him for 60 fucking years or anything like that. It's just sports franchises have been ridiculous. I see what they're doing now is building from their own stars rather than solely on stars from other promotions. And that's exactly right, Red Leaf. And I think that's a good move because we've seen how that's backfired in the past, where you just bring in what are considered to be retreads from other promotions. WCW knocked it out of the park with the NWO. And aside from those guys, there's the occasional guys, the cruiserweights in particular, they did well with. But, a lot of retreading the same guys. And the other thing about the comparison to WCW, I don't know that Khan is a Ted Turner type. And what I mean by that is so long as Ted Turner was in charge of Turner Broadcasting, he basically said, we're not getting rid of wrestling. I don't give a shit what you people say. We are not getting rid of wrestling. Wrestling helped make me who I am, and wrestling is going to stay on my channel. And even when WCW was losing money, he kept them on the channel. Now, as soon as they signed that fucking merger with AOL, the shit hit the fan, and the suits at AOL said, what the fuck are we doing throwing this money away?
Yep.
And again, I don't know that Mr. Khan is one of those type of gentlemen who will just say, you know what, this is my son. I love him. He can do whatever he wants. I'll just keep funding this thing. We're going to have to wait and see. So we shall see. What's up, Mr. Warren Hayes? Glad to have you with us, sir. Knicks are worth $4 billion, says John Baez. Yeah, it's
God knows they suck.
Yeah, and they're fucking terrible. So he's worth more than Vince. I believe they've allocated $100 million to begin with. I heard the same thing, Joseph Wyatt. Same thing there. So yeah, an interesting night for sure. Got some news that we expected, some that we didn't, but all in all, it should be a lot of fun in the coming months as we move up to Double or Nothing. Now, before we get out of here this evening, as we do every Thursday on the program, we have a very special segment here where Silky Baines, the benchmark of professional wrestling, for those of you joining us for the first time, gives us his top 5 wrestlers of the week. And this could be from any promotion, but gives us his top 5 wrestlers of the week, the guys that you need to be keeping an eye on.
Did you get my little animation
I
thing?
haven't got you
God
fucking it.
Damn
Silky,
it, Chris.
Silky.
God damn it. God damn you.
Again with this guy. Just where is he? Where is he? I got to look on my...
Shut up!
Thank you, Scott Steiner. Yes, definitely, Warren. Always good to see you here. But anyway, every week here on the program, we bring it to you, 3rd week in a row. Here they are, your benchmark power rankings for the week of February 3rd, 2019. The top 5 wrestlers of the week, the folks you need to be keeping an eye on.
And
here we go,
Silky. You're going to notice a theme here because Raw was just god-awful.
Yeah, Raw was not good this week, but let's go ahead and check out who Silky's got for you for this week's benchmark power rankings, starting off with number 5.
Number 5, the Apex Predator, Randy Orton. I mean, that match with Mustafa Ali was great. I love the finish of it. I love the give and take and how basically, someone with his level could have just said, you know what, I'm just going to beat you. You give you a couple things in and then jump at me. I'll catch you with an RKO. It's over. But he really gave it to Mustafa Ali.
And he sure did fucking nail Mustafa. Did you see this fucking eye?
Yeah.
I saw it during the match.
Yeah, I did.
And I was like, holy shit, Randy popped him for sure.
Yeah, it kind of caught me by surprise because I was like, is that motherfucker eye starting to swell?
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. So, but yeah.
No Bugenhagen, which is the worst fucking name. But that motherfucker got over. I'm not going to lie. He got over.
Yeah, he certainly did. All right, Randy Orton comes in at number 5 this week.
And that RKO, though.
It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. You know what I noticed very quickly? I don't think I realized, because you see him in the ring, and I don't think of Randy Orton as a particularly big guy. He looked fucking huge compared to Mustafa Ali.
He's very lanky. Like, he's tall. It doesn't seem like it, but yeah, he's just like tall as shit.
He's a big fucking guy, man.
Yeah.
He looks.
And it doesn't help that Mustafa Ali's pretty fucking small.
He's pretty fucking tiny indeed. All right, Randy Orton checks in at number 5. Let's go on to number 4.
Number 4, Mustafa Ali.
Now, we're going to argue about the rankings after the fact, but you guys feeling to chime in on the chat here. But go ahead. Yes, what do you got?
I mean, great showing. Like, this, the beauty of this business. Sometimes you can look better in defeat than you do in victory, because the reason he goes above Randy Orton is everyone expects Randy Orton to win this match, right?
Right.
No one really gives him a shot. But the fact that it was so close and towards the end when he went up for that 054, I thought he was going to pull this off until he got pulled back into the RKO.
Which was fucking beautiful.
So I thought that's why he should go on a little bit above, because Randy Orton is Randy Orton. Come on. So the fact that this guy who came up from 205 Live, which to me it seems like, are they fucking trying to dismantle 205 Live? I hear good things about the show. I don't really watch it, but I noticed him there, and I was watching the guy with the Bugenhagen, whatever. He was on NXT wrestling Drew Gulak, who came down from 205 Live. So it seems like they're starting to take certain pieces away from there.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm interested that the guy who lost the match is ahead of the guy who won the match. But hey, it's the Benchmark Power Rankings, and he can do whatever the hell he wants. So Mustafa Ali checks in at number 4. Let's move on to number 3.
Samoa Joe.
Fat bastard, you call him Sloppy Joe.
One day I would love to meet you to meet Samoa Joe, I should say.
I would love to meet Samoa Joe.
And he will beat the shit out of you.
He's not going to beat the shit out of me. What are you talking about? I put Samoa Joe over on this fucking show all the time.
No, you don't.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to let it happen, just so you know.
Samoa Joe would look at you and say, you know what, Silky? You try to get over on my boy Speez, but you know what happens?
You failed, and that makes you a failure.
That's exactly what it does. Talk about Samoa Joe, number 3 on the rankings this week.
He just looked like a beast, and he looked like Samoa Joe. It's funny how before these big pay-per-views they book Samoa Joe like he's supposed to be booked. He's literally in this match, this chamber match coming up, probably legitimately the only one that you should fear in that match. Maybe you can make an argument for Daniel Bryan, that cagey, backed against a wall type of, but like legitimately fear bodily harm.
Yeah, but they just, God damn it. I'm just waiting for Samoa Joe to win something, because
he's not, but
it's very unfortunate. Quote me now. Ali will win a major title at the next Saudi show, says Mike Drop. Okay, we're quoting you right now. We'll come back to that. 205 is better than it used to be. I
would play the Negro Damas music, but that wasn't put in either.
Oh, for God's sake.
Shut up!
All right, let's move on to number 2 on this week's Benchmark Power Rankings.
AJ Styles. And, I mean, he came in, good promo with Jeff Hardy, and the fact that he left pretty much everyone laying, and was, with the exception of Daniel Bryan, who scurried off like the good heel champion should do.
Absolutely.
Pretty much left everyone laying. So that's an emphatic statement.
You think AJ Styles got a shot at Elimination Chamber?
I don't, because I think, honestly, Daniel Bryan's going to keep the title. So I think that's what's going to end up happening.
So you don't like AJ Styles in Elimination Chamber? All right, well, it's not a bad pick sticking with Daniel Bryan this close to WrestleMania, but we shall see. Which brings us to number 1 on this week's Benchmark Power Rankings.
The new Daniel Bryan. Despite the fact that I fucking hate that title. And I just realized when I was watching SmackDown.
The belt. You hate the belt.
Yeah.
You don't like the new belt.
Yeah, the new belt. And I just realized, that motherfucker has Velcro? Like, I do. I was looking, I was like, wait a minute. There's no class. There's no metal class for that. It's just Velcro. Like, that's the toy version. Like, remember when you bought the...
Yeah, my son has them.
Yeah, the
replica belts with the fucking Velcro on them.
Yeah, and those are like the $30, $50 ones. And then like the $200, $300 ones are the ones that have the actual metal clasp on them.
And he's got Velcro.
He's got Velcro. So, but either way, I love the match with Hardy. And I loved when he did what a good heel champion should do. When the shit hit the fan, he got the fuck out.
Exactly. So, which is exactly
he played his part, and then the little meltdown he had on the chick when she went to interview him, it was just great for his character.
Yeah,
perfect.
And that's what Joseph White's saying here. Perfect for his character. I agree with Raven's Blood. Samoa Joe's promo was outstanding. He's always an outstanding promo. That's another reason I can't figure out why he's not the guy. We got one person saying, Jody, who says the belt is ugly, but John Baez and Joseph White are like, that belt's fucking amazing.
Don't like that belt at all.
So,
I mean, it looks comic, like even the plates look fucking comically huge.
Raven's Blood says it looks itchy.
Yeah.
Which is so true. It does look completely itchy. So let's recap this week's benchmark power rankings for the week of February 3rd, 2019. Here we go, Silky. One more time.
Number 5, Randy Orton. Number 4, Mustafa Ali. Number 3, Samoa Joe.
Fat bastard, you call him Sloppy Joe.
Number 2, AJ Styles. And number 1, the new Daniel Bryan.
There you have it, folks. This week's benchmark power rankings, the week of February 3rd, 2019. So,
and
you'll notice nothing from Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, nothing, because I went back and even rewatched for 3 hours, and I couldn't find anything discernibly good that warrant putting it on the spot. And the only reason I didn't do anybody from NXT, like Velveteen Dream, is just because nothing's happened yet. Like, they just did the show where he challenged Johnny Gargano after winning that Worlds Collide tournament.
Yeah, see, Joseph saying, where's Velveteen Dream, Silky? Come on.
I mean, he challenged. I mean, I know there's spoilers out there that say he may have won that match, but until it actually happens, all he did was come out and say, I want to wrestle you. And I don't put you on the list for that, because to me, that's the dumbest thing ever, because why would you not want to go after the richest prize in the thing? It's like, you win the Royal Rumble, you don't challenge the fucking Intercontinental Champion. No, you want the fucking heavyweight champion.
That's right.
So to me, that was stupid, because almost that's like saying he can do all the talking he wants, but to me, it comes across like he couldn't beat Tommaso Ciampa, so he's like, let me try this Gargano thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly right. WB says a good thing about that belt is that it doesn't set off the metal detectors at the airport. So you got that going for you. And you can smoke it and get high, as somebody else pointed out. So you got that going as well. All right, folks. So that's going to do it for us here tonight on the Speez and the Benchmark Show. I want to send a shout out to all of you who dropped the super hearts here on the program. We appreciate that very much. So for those of you, I know, get the tables. Silky, I think, is going to pull it up here. We'll see if he can hit the fucking button properly. You had one job, as you like to say.
Well, no, I was actually reading a comment.
I see what you were doing. Get the tables there. Jeffrey Cross, Mike Drop, Smart Spot Podcast. Make sure to give those guys a follow.
Young Reezy.
And Young Raf. We appreciate you guys very much. Again, you can drop the Super Hearts over on the Periscope app, or you can visit us at the Tip Jar, tinyurl.com/sbtipjar. Once again, folks, we are here live every Monday night, immediately following Monday Night Raw, and every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. Went on a little bit later tonight because of the Double or Nothing party, but we thank all of you for joining us.
The reason I rewatched 3 hours of vomit-worthy Raw was for you guys.
Exactly.
So
we do it for you guys.
Forget what I put myself through for this.
Exactly. All right, Silky, before we say goodnight, anything else to get out there for the people?
February 23rd, Katie's Elks Lodge, DZW. I'll be in the main event, wrestling T-Ray in a Falls Count Anywhere match, which should get pretty crazy. If you were there for the 3 stages of hell, it got pretty crazy pretty fast. So
yes, it should be a great match. At DZ Wrestling on Twitter, DZW Inc. on Facebook to get all the information. Don't forget to follow us.
Yes.
We're at Speez Benchmark on Twitter and on Periscope. Make sure you subscribe to us there. Get those notifications turned on so you know when we're going to be on.
Also, don't forget, while you're following us, go ahead and send us a message and say you want one of those Caution Heel Turn Imminent shirts.
And we got to get the information about that. We got to put it up on a webpage somewhere.
Yeah,
we'll put it up on a webpage somewhere. It's one of those. It's one of my one job that I have
thing to do, Chris.
Exactly. For the Benchmark, Silky Baines.
Yo.
Chris Bezak, thank you so much for being with us, everybody. We will see you Monday night, immediately following Monday Night Raw, right here on the Speez and the Benchmark Show. Good night, everybody.